Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at GrowFold, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping out in Lowe's, out in North McKinney, Texas. As always, please press that thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as give me a follow on Instagram at GrowFold. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. So send me a direct message if you have any questions about the plants that I feature during my big box or plant shopping videos. You can see that it is a cloudy day, but I did want to take some time to film some big box store plants. I have been doing a lot of content revolving around PlantCon 2025 in Houston, but I do miss the core of this YouTube channel, which is basically chatting about big box store plants and taking you alongside with me as I go shopping. So you can see that this is one of the Lowe's I do frequently visit just because I am based out in North Dallas. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie and I do daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. If you like this type of content, please press the subscribe button with all the notification bell on, because I will definitely have a live premiere chat as well. And this often brings in a lot of the plant lovers. But before we get into that,
hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Live Plants.
and I am Richie from GrowFold, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You have
what
to.
you're
We
gonna do.
have to today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
I'm excited to be joining Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants as we start to film season 3 for Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. If you haven't already, please go ahead and do a search on YouTube, Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. Subscribe to our podcast. We have 2 seasons completed, and it's quite interesting because more and more plant podcasts are appearing. But I am a little bit partial to the Cultivation Corner and our cultivators because there are 3 hosts on this plant podcast. And with your support, we hope that we continue to grow our pool of cultivators, which is what we call our listeners and viewers of the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, I want to start this plant shopping video out by featuring a lot of the outdoor garden plants that Lowe's Garden Centers offers. We are going to get to the main event, which I already know, plant foldies. We already know you want to go ahead and watch the houseplants, but my mission is to diversify our plant interests. I want us to be able to appreciate all different types of plants. So not only do we look at the indoor tropical plants, but I do want to show you the beautiful outdoor garden plants. My garden is doing really well right now. I have a vegetable garden and I have a couple of flowers that are growing. For those that have been following my journey, I also have some baby chickens, a Rhode Island Red and a Barred Rock Plymouth chicken that I have named Catriona and Charlotte respectively. They live in my backyard. They are living their best life. They're about 5.5 weeks old. And shout out to Angelique. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You already know that your nieces are spoiled by getting some really good nutritious food. So that helps fund the channel and also funds my baby chickens. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, look at how lush and beautiful this outdoor garden section is. You know, the one thing I do appreciate about going out when it is a little bit cloudy, the weather is cooler. And if you live in Dallas, Texas or North Dallas, summers are super brutal. When things start to get 90, 95 plus 100-degree weather, it is just brutal to be out and about. So thankfully, we've actually had quite a bit of rain. We've had a couple of tornado scares, but luckily things have been okay out in North Dallas. But you can see right here, we have some flowering begonias. These wax begonias are really pretty, and you can see that they have so many beautiful blooms. And as I spin around here, I love the fact that Lowe's locations will have hanging baskets of Epipremnum aureum or golden pothos plants. You can see this one is for $19.84. It is already trailing, and we've got quite a bit of these hanging baskets of pothos plants. Pothos plants, if you don't have it in your collection, and I will repeat myself multiple times, it's interesting because sometimes folks will come in on the comment section and try to roast me for being very repetitive, long-winded, talkative, etc., etc. But you know what? I love the fact that the plant foldies, this plant community right here, will always defend me from any type of negativity. So I do appreciate that. But yes, I will be my most authentic self. Yes, I will probably say Hedera helix. Now, for those that are new to the channel, that is my incorrect way of saying Hedera helix, English ivy, which is basically a plant foldy staple. At this point, you know, we've been doing big box or plant shopping videos for about a year and a half. And as I do more of these big box store videos, I just realized that it has really evolved from me just picking up plants, giving you the plant name, the plant price, and care tips, and really just making it more of like a personal blog where I'm just talking to you guys directly, because I feel like a lot of the plant foldies will gather during the live premiere chat. So if you are watching this video during a live premiere, which is typically 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, join the chat with the plant foldies. I kind of utilize these videos to just talk to you guys directly because I look forward to interacting with the plant foldy community, each and every single one of you guys that gives me the time of day to allow me to make this type of content where I can take my phone and point and shoot and talk about plants. Speaking of plants, so I love azaleas. Azaleas are amazing because they remind me of Japanese gardens. You can see this is the autumn Encore, was it the Encore azaleas? And you can see that it does have that Satsuki azalea feel. These are for $15.98 by Encore Azalea. So I really love the look of that one. And you can see right over here, we have some of these that are in bloom. And what I like about Encore azaleas is that they rebloom at least 3 times a year. Typically, azaleas will only bloom once, which is usually in the spring or early summer, but Encore azaleas can rebloom 3 times a year. The problem with Encore azaleas and most azaleas is if you do not water them, they will go to plant heaven very quickly. They do not like to dry out for long periods of time. And I actually had one of these, and this one right here is really tempting me. So this one looks like a really good specimen to make into a bonsai. And for those that are new to the term bonsai, bonsai is the art of growing miniature trees that replicate trees in nature. And I think this would make such a good pre-bonsai because it's already got a good trunk structure, like a single trunk. I am tempted to buy this, but I am really trying not to spend as much money because after going to PlantCon 2025 in Houston, I spent quite a bit of money, and you know, I don't regret it. And here's the thing, I want to go give a message out to the plant foldies. Don't ever regret the decisions you make whenever you are buying plants. Yes, it may not always be the most financially sound decision because we all don't want to overspend money. But if you spend the money, as long as you're not going into debt for thousands of dollars, it is okay to do that. Now, here's the flip side of it. People have mentioned that you are on plant bans. We have a super plant foldy by the name of Eric. Shout out to you, Eric. Thank you so much for always tuning in and sharing your love for Aglaonemas. I understand that plant burnout is real, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that whenever we're going to a big box store like this, like I want to buy an Encore azalea to make into a bonsai. Is it really necessary for me to add that bonsai? Definitely not. And I think the want versus the need is really the question we have to ask, right? So we're looking at all of these beautiful roses, for instance. We're looking at all of these outdoor garden plants, and a lot of us will be inspired to either put them in containers, etc., etc. Just remember, whenever you are going big box or plant shopping, it is always about managing your time. plant burnout becomes a plant burnout because we don't have time to actually enjoy the plant because we feel overwhelmed with having to maintain the watering schedule, which is really number one. And then number two, the plant pest control. And then number three, just having the time of day to sit down and really just enjoy the plant for what it is versus having to like trim off leaves, clean the roots, etc., etc. There's just a lot that goes on with plants. And even as I do my voiceover, I'm looking at my room and I'm looking at some of the plants that are droopy. I'm looking at some of my plants that are a little bit sad looking. And I have to understand that, you know what? I probably have inundated myself with quite a bit of plants. And so the topic that was being discussed in a previous live chat was what you do to mitigate plant burnout, and the common consensus is downsizing. So for me, and I think a lot of the viewers have already known that I am really just collecting more so Aglaonema. I will showcase different types of plants, but I think that is my form of downsizing. Now, I did want to show you this right here. So bougainvilleas. Bougainvilleas are beautiful plants. They love full sun, but this is interesting how it has that green on green variegation. You know, we always look for the green plant, but then when we start seeing specks of variegation, we get excited. I don't know what it is about us humans or just human beings in general that collect plants, but it seems like whenever a plant has some type of variegation, it increases the value of the plant. I think variegation just makes a plant a little bit more interesting, but does that make the plant more valuable? My question is, does it really make it more valuable, or do we put value on variegation? Plant foldies, leave in the comment section below what you think, because even this right here, this is just a typical bougainvillea, but with that green on green variegation, it does add that added interest. That's the thing about plant shopping as well. A lot of the plants that we buy at big box stores are typically cost effective. I mean, you can look at this right here. This one is the Tropic Escape by Costa Farms, and these are just your Alocasia. Now, I am curious, does anybody know the specific Alocasia names for the Tropic Escape series? You can see that there are other tropical plants that we have over here, so definitely check this out. I love the fact that these are only for $6.98, so they are really budget friendly and value added plants. I mean, I really love this Alocasia. I just wish somebody would let me know what that Alocasia plant ID is, so I'm hoping somebody can leave in the timestamps what this Alocasia is. I love it. I've actually had one of these last year. It grew into a massive one, but I forgot to take it indoors when winter hit, and well, it just didn't make it past the cold weather. And so that's the thing. Another thing I wanted to mention about plants, look at your grow zone. So my grow zone is 8B, and a lot of these beautiful mandevilla flowers, tropical shrubs, tropical plants in general that I could grow throughout the growing season of like spring, summer, and maybe early fall. There's only so much space you can add into your home. So those are some of my musings, some of my thoughts as I continue to kind of show you all of these outdoor plants. Hang tight, because I will be showing you the indoor tropical plants soon. There are some amazing variegated plants that I did find at this Lowe, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and just keep walking around and admiring the beautiful plants that Costa Farms offers for outdoor patio gardening. And plant foldies, have you guys noticed the new track that I'm playing here? Thank you to my kuya Jordan for actually making this track for me. So I'm trying to kind of diversify some of my original tracks, because as you know, I can't use copyrighted music, otherwise I can't keep these videos monetized. So enjoy the relaxing lo-fi vibes that this track has. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and then also let me know about the comments that you guys have for this gorgeous cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. This one is the kiwi for only $6.98 by Costa Farms. I grow my cordyline tea plants outdoors in full sun, and they are doing just amazing. You can see we've got some hibiscus flowers here by Costa Farms again. The Tropic Escape series for $6.98. I am tempted to grow hibiscus where my family's from, which is originally the Philippines. We call hibiscus gomamela, and there are so many different varieties. They prefer full sun, obviously high humidity. And so for me, being able to grow a hibiscus flower long-term in North Dallas is just not really applicable. So I just enjoy looking at these plants whenever I go to big box or plant shopping. And then you can see right here, plant foldies. I'm just gonna show you a couple more of these succulent plants. One thing I appreciate about big box or plant shopping is the diversity of succulents and cactus that they have, specifically Lowe's. I love that Oasis plant has a lot of these budget-friendly, cost-effective succulents. So let me know in the comment section if you are a succulent or cactus lover. You know, as far as plant foldies, there's many of us out there and we all have different types of interests. But what I do love is there is a common denominator, and that is we love plants. We love good vibes only. So let's continue to just look at some of these succulents, because I will start to go back inside to show you the indoor tropical plants. I'm super tempted to add is Caladiums to my plant collection. So you can see right here, Proven Winners Heart to Heart series Caladiums. These are hybrids by Proven Winners, $6.98. You can see that this one is another beautiful Caladium. It's drought tolerant. You don't have to deadhead it. And according to Proven Winners, they say that you can actually make this into a houseplant, adaptive to a houseplant. I've used to grow so many different types of Caladiums, but I just feel like these would just be hard to grow indoors. Now, this is my favorite heart-to-heart Proven Winners Caladium. This is the Caladium Radiance. You can see that the red literally bleeds. And, you know, as far as my plant aesthetic, the plants that I'm really into, if you notice, there is a recurring theme when I talk about plants. Obviously, Aglaonema. I talk about croton plants. I talk about coleus plants. I talk about Caladiums. All of them have a characteristic, and that is they have vibrant, colorful blooms. So you can see right over here, this is such a stunning Caladium. And when it comes to Proven Winners plants, those are amazing outdoor garden plants. But even the Proven Winners Leaf Joy series, where they've tapped into the indoor tropical houseplant market. I just love the fact that Even Proven Winners has really interesting indoor tropical plant offerings, but for the caladiums, they're definitely winning. I did want to get some of these caladiums, but I just feel like with a lot of the things that are going on with the YouTube channel, my job, which is just extremely busy and stressful, I just feel like I need to wean away from just wanting plants and just enjoying them when I go big box store plant shopping. So you'll notice that I'm doing less and less actual plant shopping and more window plant shopping, which is not a bad thing. You know, as far as me practicing mindfulness, the one thing that I do get out of making these videos, even though they are a little bit time consuming, is the fact that I know that it brings people joy. But even for me, it's just more of a relaxing routine where I could just walk around silently and film and look at these plants and really just take in the beauty of each bloom, each leaf, each foliage, each planter. I just really love it. And I do encourage anybody that might be, having stress, anxiety, etc., to just go out during a quiet morning and just go to a big box store or nursery like this and just surround yourself with beautiful plants. Take a deep breath and just enjoy it. Now, I talk about coleus plants, and you can see this is such a beautiful coleus plant. Even though coleus plants are considered more of like an outdoor patio plant, you can grow them long-term indoors. I would encourage any plant foldies to try it. I had a huge coleus obsession about a year ago. I'm not really growing coleus. I only have 3 in my collection so far, and I don't really plan to add any more just because I feel like coleus, even though they are easy to care for plants, the only thing I would say is they need to be in shaded areas, and they are very thirsty plants. They're really easy to propagate. I just feel like I don't have all of the space set up to where I can just have them. My house is literally filled with over 100 plus aglaonema, which you guys will hopefully be able to see soon during a houseplant tour, maybe in a year or two. Just kidding, I am working on it, but in terms of just trying to get this daily plant shopping content, it is a bit challenging. I do miss doing big box or plant shopping videos, even if I'm not able to produce 1 or 2 in a day. I just feel like something is a little off when it comes to my daily routine. This literally has become a daily routine, and I feel like a lot of the plant foldies that watch my content also make it a daily routine to just tune in and watch these beautiful plants be shown on video. And I did want to go point out some more of the plant products that I use. Osmocote is a plus. Super Bloom is a plus. So if you want your tomato plants, your vegetables to do really well and produce more blooms, use Super Bloom. Scott's Super Bloom is amazing. You will get a higher yield of vegetable production as well as just bloom production when you water your plants with this particular bloom booster fertilizer. And obviously Osmocote, it's a slow release fertilizer, so you can mix that with your soils. And I need to get some more of the Osmocote. Now, I do prefer more of the natural or organic fertilizers, such as worm castings, and even some of the other products that We the Wild produces. So those are other plant products I would recommend. But if you're looking for something economical, budget friendly, something that will save you money with your fertilizers for your plants, Miracle-Gro fertilizer. It is one that, some people have different opinions about, but I have been using Miracle-Gro fertilizer for a good 2 decades, and I've had really good results with them. Now, some people are very strict about using only organic fertilizers versus synthetic ones like this Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer. I don't really have a problem with that. Miracle-Gro all-purpose fertilizer really does well for a lot of your indoor tropical plants. Obviously, I like to use small micro doses, so I use a very small amount with each of my waterings just to continuously feed a lot of my plants that are vigorous feeders. So like pothos plants, for instance. So now we're going to go walk into the indoor tropical section. I'm going to spend a little bit more time just highlighting a lot of the exotic angel plants, live trends design plants, urban jungle plants, you know, the big three that you will see at Lowe's locations. I recently did a poll for which big box store you would typically shop for houseplants, and Lowe's actually won when you compare it to Home Depot, Walmart, and Target. So I can agree with that. You know, as far as Lowe's typically has indoor tropical plants in stock year round, even in the cold winters. So I do like that. I also love the fact that Costa Farms, I mean, you can't beat Costa Farms. Costa Farms is everywhere. Costa Farms is even creeping into local nurseries and small businesses, which is not a bad thing because I'm pretty sure they are able to offer very cost-effective plant pricing. And that's the thing. If you want to start a plant collection, you are most likely going to end up buying a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. Now, the 3-inch ones that I'm picking up are for $5.98. And so I'm just going to show you the ones that they have available. I like this Dracaena Sandriana. This is also known as the Lucky Bamboo, the variegated version. And this one is only for $5.98. So if you want to start a houseplant collection, you're most likely going to see Costa Farms plants. Now, as far as Costa Farms plants, I do like that they have released some new trending tropical plants, which we will try to find. But as far as their typical exotic angel plants, you'll see a plethora of different types of pothos plants, croton plants, begonias, maybe a little bit of philodendron, and some Hoyas, definitely Dieffenbachias and Dracaena. So those are the typical plants you'll find. So let's just continue to pick up these exotic angel plants. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, which ones would you buy? And if you have any questions about the plant care tips, leave that in the comment section below. I can answer them as well. I love comments, and if you really want to support the channel and the engagement, just take some time. It only takes a second to leave a comment. I read each and every single one of them. Obviously, I want to foster constructive feedback if you have any, but also more so just really mindful social media etiquette when it comes to just being kind and positive. We don't ever want to attack each other, and that's something that I'm very adamant about, because as we utilize social media platforms such as YouTube, we want to make sure that we keep it positive. There is a lot of toxicity out there, and I'm just glad for the most part, I would say 97% of our plant foldies are extremely mature and just really kind, and that's how we want to keep it at this YouTube channel. Now, as far as the Dieffenbachia we're looking at here, so Dieffenbachia, this is a plant that I am thinking about growing in the future, more so different varieties, maybe next year, because they do remind me of Aglaonema. They look very similar, but you can see that their plant care tips are a little bit different. And then obviously we have a beautiful Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Golden pothos. Please add a golden pothos in your plant collection. If you haven't already, go to a big box store today and go ahead and buy yourself a pothos plant. That is such an easy to care for plant. Same thing with the spathiphyllum, or what you call peace lily. Like this one right here is another one for $5.98. It is very much low light tolerant. It is definitely not drought tolerant. Like if you do not water this on a daily basis, it is almost ready to go to plant heaven if you just let it dry out. So interesting characteristic about spathiphyllums, I call them the dramatic plants. And you can see I have shown you guys lots of Costa Farms plants right over here, whether it's an exotic angel plant or all of these beautiful hanging baskets. Now, the 6-inch hanging baskets by Costa Farms are for $16.98. One thing I'd like to see from Costa Farms is more hanging baskets of like pink trailing plants like that Tradescanthia nanuk. I know that they have the Tradescanthias, but I would love to see a hanging basket of Tradescanthia nanuks. Maybe we'll see that, but as far as this hanging basket right here, this is a beautiful lipstick plant. They remind me of Hoyas. I love that it's trailing, and you know, all of my hanging baskets are typically pothos plants, and I don't have a problem with that. I think that easy care plants is something that we all need to really consider. Now, this Fatsidera, which is basically a Hydra helix and a Fatsa japonica cross, so it's an English ivy crossed with a Japanese Aurelia, and you can see that that's the reason why it has an upright look on it. Nice plant. And then we also have a Syngonium in a 5-inch planter for $8.98. Syngoniums need bright indirect light. You definitely want to water them consistently, so let them dry out completely and water them. But you know, Syngoniums, again, they are one of those plants that will get fussy if you let them stay dry for too long. And I've noticed that even with pothos plants, like, you really don't want to push the envelope with pothos plants. Honestly, you can probably overwater your pothos plants and they tend to still do well. Peperomia Pixie Lime is a beautiful hanging basket. This one is for $20.98 by Costa Farms. This has been a plant that I've been looking at for more than a year, but I've noticed that there are certain plants that I will see whenever I am out shopping for plants, and I am perfectly comfortable just window shopping and just picking up the plant and just admiring it. And I'm not saying that you guys should not shop for plants, because clearly a lot of these plants need to go to good homes, but be okay with doing window plant shopping. Like this right here, I can appreciate that Lowe's is carrying these Costa Farms combination planters, but it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I still appreciate that they look really pretty. I do like that this one has 3 different plants. We've got a palm, we've got a croton plant, and a marble queen pothos, and all of these are only for $17.98. So you can think of it as a 3-in-1 special. I'm always looking for Lowe's deals, Lowe's savings, ways to save money whenever you are shopping for plants. And that's really the key word, right? It is always about trying to manage your finances. Now, some people, you may not be as closely in tune with possibly looking at your finances. Some of you guys might just end up just buying the plant and not thinking about how much it costs. I wish I was on that level, but I really got to reel it in when it comes to spending money on plants. Like this right here, beautiful Hoya for all my Hoya lovers, my Hoya heads, $16.98. And I am curious for anybody that has gone big box store plant shopping, what is your budget that you really set for plants? I really am asking the plant foldies, if you really want to support this channel, leave that in the comment section. I want to know exactly like what a typical plant foldy budget is. I'm trying to get to know our community a little bit closer. So leave that in the comments if you have time. And also if you let me know what you think about Dieffenbachia, because Dieffenbachia, they're so pretty to look at. They are not pet friendly, and this is for $15.98. I am starting to look at pet-friendly plants because I do have baby chickens, and even though my chickens are now going to be more so outdoors, even my tropical plants that are growing outdoors, some of my pothos plants, some of my philodendron, I can't really leave my baby chickens to kind of graze around that area because I don't want them to die because they are highly toxic to plants. So that's one thing that we've talked about. I never really looked into like plants that are pet friendly because I never really had any pets that were growing and living with me indoors. But now that I have Charlotte and Catriona, I have to be a little bit more mindful. Did you know Calathea dotty is actually a pet-friendly plant? So Calatheas, Maranthas, prayer plants are actually not toxic to not toxic to pets. So that is a pet-friendly plant. So, as far as pet-friendly plants, to list a couple, I would say Hoyas are also pet-friendly. That's one thing that I want to try to do a little bit more research on as I do big box or plant shopping, is to let you know what is pet-friendly, because now that I have some baby chickens and I have my own pets, I have to be a little bit more mindful about what is toxic to your pets. But Calathea dotty, I like it. This is now actually reduced in its price. It used to be a trending tropical plant by Costa Farms. Now it's just in a self-watering 6-inch planter for only $15.98. Beautiful plant, but Calatheas are just the biggest heartbreakers. I have not been able to grow one long term. I am curious, plant foldies, if you've been able to grow a Calathea long term, please leave it in the comment section and let me know what your secret is, what the process is, because clearly in the last year and a half, I have not been able to figure it out. Now, as far as interesting texture plants, like this one right here is an interesting one. Hanging basket by Costa Farms. This one is for $16.98. I'm not so much into like really small foliage plants, but needless to say, it's got a really nice texture. So plant foldies, let's just keep looking at plants. This is another example of a philodendron pink princess now that is reduced to $15.98. This used to be a trending tropical Costa Farms plant for $19.98, but I just feel like the allure of certain plants like the philodendron pink princess has really declined in the last 3 years, because it's mostly readily available, and you have to think about the different types of strands of philodendron pink princess. They have a philodendron pink princess galaxy, which has higher pink variegation. Over here is a Syndapsis trubii moonlight. It's still a trending tropical plant for $19.98. Beautiful metallic silver bluish foliage. I need to get one of these plants because even though it's a slow growing plant, it's such a beautiful plant, and there are so many different varieties of Syndapsis that are making it into the market. So that's another beautiful one that I would add to my collection. and you can see that we have a combination of Live Trends design plants and Costa Farms hanging baskets. You know, hanging baskets for me, they are a nice stylistic approach, but for me, it's just a little bit challenging because of the watering that it's required. Sometimes you have to get on a ladder and it's just a little bit more upkeep. And then you also have to think about like how much light your hanging basket is getting. Now, again, you know, I love to just feature the golden pothos or any type of epipremnum aureum. This one is for $15.98. So as I walk around this Lowe's location, I wouldn't necessarily say that they have a lot of restocks. These are plants that you probably have seen in a lot of my videos, but you know, what's interesting is whenever you start to look at some of the plant pricing and how the plant prices have really gone down over the years, even with the philodendron pink princess. I mean, last year it was a trending tropical Costa Farms plant for like $19.98. Now you can find it for $15.98. Now, we do have some more Hoyas. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of our Hoya heads, or for those that love Hoyas, I'm pretty sure you guys wish that there were more Hoya varieties available at big box stores. I certainly do. I feel like I would get into it a little bit more. Same thing with like Aglaonemas, but as you can see right here, one of my favorite ceramic planters, this one is by Urban Jungle, and you can see that they have some beautiful bird's nest ferns. Now, all of these Urban Jungle ceramic planters are only for $14.98. I really like the terracotta look about it. And you can see there are different varieties of bird's nest fern. Bird's nest fern can get massive. You just have to basically have the space for it. I do think that they are a little bit easier to take care of than the typical fern. And, you know, whenever I was actually on vacation in the Philippines last year in July, I remember seeing them as large as like 4 to 5 feet in width and height. So really massive plants. I do love the fact that there is a unique shape. It almost reminds me of like a Live Trends design plant, but clearly this is an Urban Jungle plant. And, you know, as far as the stylistic approach, you have to really look at the planter and even just the colors, the shape, the color palette, the textures, all of it kind of factors in on how the mood is for your plant. So that's one thing I haven't really delved into is plant styling. I would say I'm more of a plant hoarder than a plant collector, but you know, that's another topic I'll discuss in a future big box or plant shopping video. I also love the fact that they do have this Epipremnum alplicimum, or what you call the silver streak pothos. This used to be another trending tropical plant for $19.98 by Costa Farms, but now it is a reduced price, a better deal for only $15.98. So for me, if you ever find a plant that you're really wanting to get, it really just depends on your patience. If you're willing to wait a year or two, know that any plant, no matter how expensive or how trending it is, eventually over time, the plant's price will depreciate and you'll be able to get it at more affordable prices. Like there is an example that I want, and everybody knows this. I've talked about the Aglaonema Crown of Siam. Please do a online search and you will understand why that is such a beautiful Aglaonema. But you know, I've only found it for about $400, and I don't really want to spend $400 on a specific Aglaonema. You know, there are some plants that I've spent over $100 for, but $400 is asking a little bit much for it. I mean, this philodendron pink princess, for instance, is only $15.98. The thing I've found about philodendron pink princess that I'm not as big of a fan is the climbing philodendron, the ones that need a pole, and the majority of them really do need poles. So, you know, it depends on that. Also with philodendron pink princess, it is all about the initial genetics of the plant. So you can see this one right here has beautiful pink variegation. You have a higher chance of it pushing out more pink. If you find one that is a little bit less variegated, most likely it's not going to give you the variegation you want. And again, as far as the plants that we're seeing here, I like the fact that most Lowe's locations have the same type of merchandising. I mean, you can see that there always is an end cap full of Live Trends design. And the next big box store plant shopping video, I'm actually going to feature specifically Live Trends design. Obviously, I'll show a couple of urban jungle plants as well as Costa Farms plants, but there is something to be said about plant styling and just the stylistic approach that Live Trends design has. I mean, they have that motto of fusing nature and art, Live Trends design. And I can even see this, like, notice how they do have like a alocasia silver dragon here. This one is for $14.98, but look at how simplistic the planter is. I really love very minimalistic planters, and for me it's just because I feel like if the planter is a little bit more minimalistic, you kind of focus more of the attention to the actual plant. Now this one right here is an Epipremnum aureum green Jula pothos, although I feel like this is more of a reverted enjoy. It doesn't have the Manjula pothos large leaves, so maybe this is mislabeled, but this one is for $16.98. Let's take a look at some more of these hanging baskets. Now this one looks like a Grindula pothos. So what I would say about Grindula pothos is it's basically a reverted or more of like a subtle green on green variegated Manjula pothos. Now Manjula pothos are my second most favorite pothos plant to grow. My favorite pothos plant has to be the neon pothos, just because it's got that bright neon coloration. This is still a beautiful plant, and I like just the leaf shape of the Manjula pothos. That is the Greenjula pothos. And let's take a look at some more of these plants right over here. So Ficus shivriana in a 10-inch planter by Costa Farms. This is for $29.98. So story time on the Ficus shivriana. Something like this size Ficus shivriana about 4 years ago used to be about like $400 to $500, and now you can get it for $29.98. We do have a bunch of Majesty palms right over here, for instance, but as far as the Ficus shivriana, beautiful plant. I have mine growing outdoors in full sun, and I remember getting excited buying it from the Green Escape on Etsy for like, I think $30 as a 2-inch starter planter, and now it's about this size. It is a very slow grower, and I just feel like it's sized up even more so though now that I've been growing it outdoors in full sun. Now Ficus elastica or any type of rubber tree plant like this definitely needs to be growing out in full sun or lots of light. You'll notice that it's got really nice variegation, more of a peachy neon green color, and then I'm just glad to always run into an Aglaonema red siam. So this is for $15.98, but to my plant foldy David, who has helped me rescue Aglaonema red siams, this one is on clearance, so it's half off, 50% off of $15.98. Beautiful red colors. Now if anybody wants me to rescue this, obviously you can drop a super sticker or super thanks in the live chat or even in the comment section. That is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator on YouTube if you want to show some appreciation through a monetary tip. Obviously don't feel obligated to, but I always like to just remind anybody that doesn't know that that is an option. You can drop a super sticker, but I might consider actually rescuing this. It really just depends on if whether somebody wants to drop a super sticker. I have a lot of Aglaonema red siams already, but that one is a beautiful specimen because it actually has more reddish tones on the leaves. And then you can see this one is actually full price, $15.98. So I recently did a poll and I noticed that certain plant foldies do not own an Aglaonema red siam, and some of you guys have even given feedback that you won't buy an Aglaonema red siam. I would like for you guys to reconsider. I think every single plant foldy should have an Aglaonema red siam. Please leave that in the comment section if you agree, if you have an Aglaonema red siam. I know some people really do consider it a basic plant, but just a basic plant doesn't mean that it's not a value added plant. Same thing with this Epipremnum aureum pearls and jade pothos. So this is for $22.98 by Live Trends Design. Beautiful variegation for this pothos plant. This one is a moderate grower. I wouldn't say it's a slow grower like maybe an enjoy pothos, but you can see that there is still quite a bit of plants over here, and we're just going to look at some more of these Costa Farms self-watering planters for $15.98. Another Ficus elastica. This one is the ruby variety. plant foldies, you'll see that we have a lot of Pachira aquatica, or your lucky money tree plants right here. These are by Costa Farms for $29.98. And you can see in the background, we've got lots of beautiful modern looking planters that Lowe's offers. And I'm still deciding on whether I should just end up buying that ginkgo planter that I always feature in my videos. But you can see Pachira aquatica. Actually, it's $35.98 in a braided form. That is one that I would eventually get in my plant collection. And you can see that there are some Lowe's deals. These are limited time only. You can buy some of these palms for that price. So as far as ways to save money or manage your finances whenever you're going plant shopping, couple of tips I want to put out there. Number one, participate in loyalty programs for big box stores, whether it is downloading the Walmart app, the Target app, the Lowe's app, the Home Depot app. They have ways to save money because they offer coupons, digital coupons, you get points. So participate in big box store loyalty programs, and then also just look for coupons, and then also look for clearance plants. Some plants that are not necessarily in the best health, but you can still salvage them. That's what ways to save money. Also, comparing and contrasting plant pricing among big box stores, because you would be surprised about some of the nuances in pricing that you will find. So some of my tips on how to save money on shopping for houseplants, those are a couple that I would feature. And then you could just see right here, I'm just showing you all of the plants that they have to offer. This one is an urban jungle plant. This is a Homalomena Shelby. I love the green on green coloration. It reminds me of like camouflage. Beautiful plant, one that I would recommend if you like this type of aesthetic. I just feel like the Homalomena Shelby though is a bit of a finicky plant. I think you have to stay on top of the watering. Calathea dotty right next to it is definitely a finicky plant, and Calatheas will just not make it into my plant collection. Unfortunately, after sending so many to Plant Heaven, I just don't want to keep losing money. And, I have to ask the plant foldies, how much money have you lost with sending plants to Plant Heaven? Leave that in the comments section. And as far as Miracle Grow indoor plant food, I like using this because I'll squirt like 1 or 2 pumps into my water that I use for watering. And that's basically microdosing the plants. And then I want to show you this. This is an Aglaonema Nicole. Look at how beautiful this is. It is a large foliage one, and this one is by Live Trends Design for $22.98. Like, I would buy this again. So there are certain plants like this. Even though it's not a colorful pink or red plant, I love the silver foliage. This is another plant that I would recommend. Same thing with this urban jungle planter for $19.98. This is an Aglaonema golden base. So these are what I call the green large leaf form Aglaonema, not the ones that are like smaller colorful leaves, but these ones are typically the easier Aglaonema to take care of. Highly recommend it. Beautiful coloration, beautiful foliage. I mean, we can take a look at this. I mean, look at that. Would you buy these Aglaonema? Please leave that in the comment section. Like, if I had the funds to buy these, I would buy them again. I actually have 3 Aglaonema golden base already in my plant collection, but I could use a 4th. So, feel free to drop a super sticker, Plant Foldies, if you want to support me on that, because I will definitely drive myself back to buy the plants. I have to say, I am proud that even though I am seeing such beautiful plants, I am not investing in buying plants that I may not necessarily need. And that's really something that I feel like as a plant foldie community, we should talk about. There is this inner voice that we all feel like we have to buy plants anytime we go to a big box store or a plant nursery. Every single plant we pick up, we feel like we have to buy. And I get it. For me, Aglaonema, if it's a new variety that has like a pink streak that looks similar to another Aglaonema, I would still buy it. What I do want to highlight is take a look at these Monstera Thai constellations. So Costa Farms is selling them as a trending tropical plant for $29.98. Monstera Thai constellations used to be such a rare plant where people would spend money. My original Monstera Thai constellation, I remember buying years back from eBay, a 1-leaf, 1-node cutting for $200. Now, These can be found at big box stores, and I love the fact that there are variegated plants. Variegated monstera at a big box store, variegated philodendrons at a big box store, and Costa Farms has made it available for us. And some people have opinions about Costa Farms. I will just say again that the staff that I've met with Costa Farms, my interactions with the team at Costa Farms have always been a positive interaction. And then the plants that they have available for people to buy. I mean, I just would say they've made it to where more people are in the plant collecting business or the plant collecting hobby because Costa Farms has made it more readily available. Now, granted, you already know Plant Foldies, you already know that I love supporting big box stores, but also small businesses. I'm going to go ahead and shout out Classy Rabbit Soil. If you have not bought a bag of Classy Rabbit Soil, go to classyrabbit.com and definitely buy your bag with that. And I do have some exciting news as I pick up these philodendron ring of fires. I was recently selected by the Bonsai Supply. Please follow the Bonsai Supply on Instagram as an actual affiliate to go sell some of their products. So if you're into bonsai or if you want to get access to their amazing soil for bonsai that you can use for your succulents and cactus because it's super fast draining, I'm going to eventually make an unboxing video of all the free goodies that they gave, and I'm just really happy that I am now an affiliate for the Bonsai Supply. I've literally been buying their soil for more than 5 years just because that's another hobby of mine. I feel like their soil is honestly some of the best bonsai soil ever. And then you can just see right here, Plant Foldies, more and more Ficus elastica. And as far as Ficus elastica, you can actually trim it down and produce more branching of this plant. I remember seeing this also in the Philippines where it was like 20 to 30 feet tall. It was a full-blown tree, and it's just interesting to see what these plants look like in the native environments that they have, especially with the philodendrons that just kind of crawl up. But you'll see these are all for $13.95. All of these gorgeous urban jungle plants. This one is a zebra plant, and we're just gonna walk around and pick up more plants. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you made it this far into the video, Plant Foldies, and you have not pressed the thumbs up or like button for this video, can I please hit the like button for this video? It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself because I want to see more Plant Foldies in the live chat. I've been seeing more and more people participating, and I really appreciate that. So let's just keep picking up some of these plants and seeing what they have at this Lowe's location. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this big box store plant shopping episode today. I will say about Costa Farms. They just have all of these trending tropical plants. I'm really curious to see what their production levels look like, because whenever you go to a big box store, they have several dozen of these Syndapsis, Trubei Moonlight. That's one thing I regret, is not being able to see the actual tour. And you can see that Costa Farms even has bonsai. And, that's one thing I want to do, is I want to take a Costa Farms plant like this and pot it up in the bonsai supply soil mix that I will be receiving. Again, I'm just really excited that I'm getting a little bit more opportunities to promote products that I have used or truly believe in. And that's the thing. I am one of these people that I will support something that I truly appreciate. So whenever I talk about Pitas planters, for instance, or inundate you with so many classy rabbit quote commercials, it's because I really want you guys to try the product because they work for me, or shop at Pitas planters because Pitas planters has awesome plant shopping. Now, Lowe's, if you ask me which big box store I shop the most for houseplants, it's definitely going to be Lowe's. Lowe's has a lot of the big box store plants that I like. Costa Farms, I like Urban Jungle Plants, as well as Live Trends Design. And, as I wrap up this big box store plant shopping video, I will say I am super happy that I was able to film some of these big box stores. Life gets in the way sometimes. Things get a little bit busy. But once I'm able to get back into routine and be consistent, it just brings me so much joy. I just love the fact that whenever I produce a big box store, I see more engagement, more views, but more so more happiness in the chat sessions. I did want to shout out again David, who is always gifting people with YouTube membership tiers. I will say that Luke Plantfoldy, Luke was super excited that he finally became a super Plantfoldy. And for those that are listening or watching, I do have a YouTube membership tier. I need to be better about uploading more membership only videos. But if you ever consider joining the YouTube membership tier, just click the link that is pinned in the comment section. Or if you're watching this video on a computer, just hit join. It does help with the sustainability of this YouTube channel, because for only $2.99, basically it is the price of a cup of coffee. You are able to support my channel and get more access to my daily lifestyle blogs, my food blogs, my personal plants, my house plant tour, etc. So definitely check that out, and definitely check out this Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. Beautiful plant, $16.98. If I were to buy a plant today, this would have been the plant I would have bought, because it's such a beautiful plant. It has really nice foliage. And then look at these alocasias. Can you imagine that these alocasias used to be super expensive about 4 to 5 years ago, especially during the pandemic, and now they are more readily available. I do believe there is a resurgence of people who love plants, but as I pin around here, I do want to pick up one of the final plants. This one is for $24.98. It is the classic Aglaonema Red Siam. And I do ask any Plantfoldy, anybody that just watches my video, go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema Red Siam. Get yourself what you would call a basic plant, because this basic plant is going to give you a lot of joy. It is low light tolerant. It is drought tolerant. It is the official Plantfoldy mascot in terms of what this YouTube channel represents, and it's basically universal love for plants, as well as just easy care, simple, budget friendly, all of the above. So as I finish this big box store plant shopping video with the Aglaonema Red Siam, I wish everybody an amazing day and an amazing weekend. And again, consider joining my YouTube membership tier. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode. As always, my name is Richie at Growfold. Good vibes only. And as always, please make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and turn on all the notifications as well. I'll have a new one tomorrow. Bye.